Hi, I'm Jill. I'm an artist. In 2023, we bought our boat Freya. We fixed her in Whitby and sailed around to Largs through the Caledonian Canal and the Crinan Canal. Our journey continues. Welcome aboard. And welcome to this week's video. On this week, we're actually going to try and get out again. And we're really anxious about it now, because every time we go out somewhere, something happens. We still haven't anchored successfully. Well, we've anchored, we haven't brought the anchor up successfully. We're going to try that. We haven't had the engine run perfectly all the way and be able to trust turning it off. Actually, we did in August last year, but we've had it done since then. We're still playing with the sails. We're still working out which sheets we need to change and things like that. It's all new electric since we came round from Stranraer. So it's tentative. Everything's tentative. So we had a few days to get ready. And then we went up on this journey, went to Saltom Bay. Very quickly, that's where Whitehaven is, within the United Kingdom, just in Cumbria. And we're going to Saltom Bay, which is this bit here. So it is literally two nautical miles away. I mean, you can do that in half an hour. It's not a problem. And the wind was coming from this direction. So tucked in round here, it actually gets quite sheltered. So if you remember the journey we went on last week, where we just got out and the throttle cable broke and we came back in again, that was our track. So out we came. Right, okay, let's go back in again. Simple as that. And this week's, so here we go, this was the track from today's sail. In the end, the wind wasn't coming from this direction, it was sort of more here. So we would have been going straight into it. So what we thought was we'd go, and at first the tide was going that way as well. We were going against the tide. So we thought, well, we'll come out a bit and then we can get a better direction on the wind coming in. And we did. It was a lovely sail all the way, and we didn't have the engine on for any of this bit. And then I think we put the engine on a little bit down here just to get close enough. Yeah, there we go. Just to anchor up. And that was our little anchor track. And then we set off, put the sails up here again. And as you can see, lovely downwind sail. And this here was where something else happened, which you're going to find out about in a second. But altogether, a great day. Not far at all. And then we did a few little jobs, got ourselves ready while we were waiting for the right weather day. And this is still in the 2 weeks, so I think we didn't go up again. This is in the last part of those 2 weeks when we had that 1 day left, and off we went. This is what happened. We watched other boats being hoisted back in, like our friend John Pye on Rosybud. It was nice to see them back in the water. This is one of the jobs that I did. I put a bit of waterproofing on all the seams on the cockpit cover. It was great for showers, but when it absolutely downpoured, there was a little bit of leaking through the seams. I don't think I'll be able to stop it completely, but I'm sure I'll be able to improve it. Right, we've got everything ready. We're going to have another go. The throttle cable has been fixed and everything's ready. It's a lovely calm day, little bit of a breeze, but that's all. So just going to test the anchor, test the engine, maybe the anchor later, and just go up the coast half an hour, and that's it. We'll see how it goes. Off we went away from the docks. Mark sorted out all the lines and started bringing in fenders that we didn't need when we were going into the lock. It's still not really smooth into and out. Throttle cable felt fine, felt in control of the engine, but as you can hear, there was still a little bit of clunkiness about it that I wasn't happy with. But look at that soon. Went through into the different basin in the marina and then settled into the lock. Just got nicely into position, a bit of reverse, and we just came to a nice stop where Mark was ready to tie us on. And then holding nice and still, I just did a little bit of a lasso and threw it round a cleat at the back. Tightened that up and we were nice and secure for the water coming in. There's the alarm for the doors opening. We're nearly ready to get going. The engine went off quite quickly. No engine noise. It's lovely. We're hardly moving, but it's lovely. Everything has worked.
So far.
So far. We have 6 knots of wind, which is enough to keep the sails full, and we're doing about 2 knots. So
Against the tide?
Against the tide, to be fair. So, well, it says 6 knots. That's an estimate, I think. 6 to 10, I reckon.
It's not 10 knots away now.
Gusting 10. 8. Gusting 8. I'm hoping.
It's gusting less than that.
Okay. But it's really peaceful.
Definitely a razor bill, that.
Yeah. Oh, Mark, I'm trying to...
Sorry.
This is just... And here's the waterfall, Saltom Bay waterfall. Yeah, if we can trust the anchor in this, which is a bit of a breeze, isn't it? What are we testing today, Mark?
Anchor, new chain, electrics, anchor, chain, electrics, engine, throttle cable,
sails, pretty much everything.
Sails, lines,
us, yeah,
all of it.
Oh, anchored up, just making a cup of tea, watching a lovely waterfall. I don't know if it was dolphins or porpoises.
Yeah, just make your way through, it's on 3 floor.
Yeah, we won't be by the time we get there.
2 hours on 3 floor, isn't it?
Don't think so. No, they're gone. A nice bit of downwind sailing now. That'll do. We're doing about 4.5 knots in a light breeze. It's very nice.
Got less than 10 knots.
The wind did start picking up quite a bit.
Yeah, just make your way, Jake. It's still a free flow.
Bubbles out the back, just on a head sail. And we're back in. So we came back in. And you may have noticed I kept highlighting all the way through this idea that we're still on free flow. We're still on free flow. Turned out to be a good thing, because as we were coming back, we started to bring the head sail in and the sheet got jammed. Mark went up to the front to try and unjam it, but as you can also see, the wind had started to pick up a little bit and it was getting ridiculous. So what he did is he managed to wrap as much of it around the the forestay as possible, and then we just motored straight through, and we were luckily we were still on free flow, because once we got within Whitehaven Marina, especially they've got a little area that you can sort of stop in. There wasn't as much wind, and he could really work on undoing it and find out why it jammed. So we didn't film any of that bit. I know I've seen it on so many channels where they say this has just happened and we didn't film it, but I completely understand why, because when something goes wrong, you don't think, oh, where's my camera? You think, right, what do we have to do? Unless you're planning on something going wrong, and then you can get your cameras ready. But we weren't planning on the thing being wrong today, was that we couldn't fully get the head sail away. We even tried unfurling it again and taking it back in again, but it wouldn't go either way. It was well and truly wrapped. It turned out the rope had wrapped around itself on the drum at the bottom of the furler. So we did, once we got in, we unjammed it, and then once it got all the way out, we've actually made sure that it's really neat on the way in, and every time we furl it from now on, we're going to make sure it's really neat on the way in, and if it overlaps, we're going to stop, bring it back out and try again. Not getting caught on that one again. So the rest of it worked perfectly. First time anchoring, first time getting the anchor up, and we didn't actually stay. We had a cup of tea and that was it. We didn't stay on that little anchorage for long, because I was really anxious about getting the anchor back up, because the last time we tried getting an anchor up, it did not go well at all. So we managed to get that up, we managed to get back in, and we were tied up. And the relief of everything that we were practicing going right, and the only thing that we didn't think would go wrong went wrong. But it's all learning. We're learning all the time. And then we were shattered. We were absolutely shattered. And we just chilled for a couple of days before we went home. And we thought, we'll wait for another weather window to come up and do anything more. It's amazing how tired a bit of anxiety on you and on a nice short sail can do. Now we've got to work on that bit. Sailing can be very relaxing. It can also make you feel very anxious. We want sailing to be a relaxing thing to do. At the moment it's an adventure. We want to be more familiar with what we're doing before we go anywhere. And we want to trust what's going on around us. And we are getting there. Very slowly, we're getting there. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.